Shaquille O'Neal and move him around like he was a rag doll.
He would do a tricep extension that, like, the big guy.
All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a good day. Hope you guys enjoyed the videos from earlier today. I didn't mean to rhyme. I do it all the time. All right, I gotta stop. Shoot. Oh man. I completely did not try to do. Anyways, you guys. So a video was suggested to me from the community. And this one is actually probably going to be pretty cool here. This is called Could Wilt Chamberlain Have Dominated Shaq? So it's cool to do something different here. This is coming from Fuba Sports. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've been a subscriber for a while. I'm going to link the original video down below in the description like I always do. Also, you see a list of channel members in there. So shout out to all of you guys. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to figure out what I was trying to say in the intro before I just started dropping bars. Okay. I don't know what else to say because my mind is focused on that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start the video here. Shout out to members. I appreciate you all. Everyone, please leave this video a like. And yeah, let's do it.
From Shaquille for real.
LSU sophomore.
Did he just say Shaquille for real?
From Shaquille for real.
Is that just is that just gonna be the theme of this video? Of this reaction? Let's just rhyme everything. Let's see if we can turn everything into poetry.
LSU sophomore Shaquille O'Neal is already being heralded as one of the top centers in the universe.
No man has come in with the fanfare this guy has. This clean. And I think that he's worthy of it.
When I first came into the
league.
It
is going to be fun because this is going to show the hype of Shaq coming into the league. Those of you who weren't around for this, you have no idea like how hype this really was.
I did a Reebok commercial. I brought him, Bill Russell, Bill Walton, and Kareem.
Talk to me about the interaction you had with Shaquille that day and what you learned about him.
They didn't call me on zone defenses back when I was playing. They had 5 guys around me, plus the 2 referees were punching me all at the same time. Wow, it was bad. But see, they won't be able to do that shit with you down.
He's very, very young. And I don't think that he has maybe a sense of,
Actually, Wilt was wrong there. Shaq spent the majority of his career with people elbowing him, punching him, and holding him. Maybe I didn't get to see enough Wilt, but I've never seen anybody else take that much physical abuse as Shaq. But with Shaq, he also dealt that physical abuse right back. So,
of what he's all about yet and what we were all about. History is bad news for a lot of young people. But what was he doing when he was in high school? I mean, who was he looking up to? Maybe Dr. J.
Julius Erving.
Yeah, it was.
Is the reason why I started playing basketball.
And they don't really know what certain people have done in the sport.
People are talking about comparing him to you already. I mean, when you hear something like that, what's your reaction?
I think that the parallels between Shaquille and myself are probably a little closer than they are with some of the other centers.
I was going after one guy, Wilt Chamberlain. He wanted to break all his records.
The man has a lot of agility, a lot of mobility, and he is sort of a hostile type of player.
He has to remain in little foul trouble as possible. It doesn't mean he's not aggressive, but he has to be very, very smart.
The more physical I became, I just seen all the other centers do this.
Shaquille O'Neal has earned $100 million.
Yeah, I think that really started happening when he was in LA with the Lakers. Because he had a lot more finesse in Orlando. When he was with the Lakers, dude, he just became an absolute monster. And I think that was by intention. He was done losing.
In and out of the sport, his teams have never won a single playoff game. What do you say?
I say that he is a genius.
Like, okay, Wilt got 2 championships. I know I can get 2.
That's interesting. So was he competing against Wilt and not Jordan? Because he wasn't going for the greatest of all time. He was trying to be the the best center of all time. So I guess Wilt was his target. Interesting to think about. Because in that case, maybe that's why he got lazy after he won. He won a couple.
Did you see the game, bro? We see everything. Get in here.
Court is now in session.
Shaquille and I is like comparing me with Clark Gable. Mm-hmm. In this case, I'm Clark Gable and he's me. He's a big, strong, powerful guy who runs up on top of people. He could be taught to play a whole lot better.
I want to see what his shooting game is like, though, by myself. I've seen him dunk a lot of balls down, but can he maneuver or will he get shots free when he's going up by 2 men?
God, imagine if he had those moves like Wilt did. He would truly be unstoppable.
He seems to have problems in the last quarter.
I would make him have to run up and down the court all day.
Yep.
I would like, though...
They did that in Phoenix with him when he played a short stint over here. Did not work out. It was a bad experiment. But in order to get his cardio right, he was playing with a 7 seconds or less style team. Yeah, he was running... excuse me. He was running up and down that court like crazy. And it was actually really good. Like, he was looking pretty limber, during that time. He was also like diving for loose balls and all kinds of stuff. Like, he would make it a point that everyone could see him when he was running down the court. He was like a clown, but it was actually really, really funny. But I gotta say, it would be effective if you just stick him on a team that makes him run fast breaks constantly. Go, 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 go. Like, he'd be in much better shape.
I've had a chance to play against someone like him, Clyde, because I always like the big guys.
Any pro worth his IT is going to be gunning for the shot.
He plays an entirely different type of basketball game. Mm-hmm. He uses his physicality, and he's a big, strong young man, and that works well in today's game. Mm-hmm. If he was facing me, not so good. I mean, I'm a guy bench pressing around 600 pounds when I was at my best.
600 pounds?
Yeah, right.
600 pounds.
I think you're exaggerating. You're out of your mind.
There's a thing called innate strength. That's strength from within. Wilt would take Shaquille O'Neal and move him around like he was a rag doll.
He would do a tricep extension that, like, the big guys, the strongest guys, would do, let's say, 120 pounds, let's say, tricep extension, pulling down, right? He would come and he would do 150, 170 pounds, Wilt Chamberlain. That's how strong he was. So I always felt like when people said, well, this guy is shooting more baskets than anyone else, I said, well, because you stay away from him. He was so powerful with his elbows and everything. When he grounded, when he saw that where to put the ball, you wouldn't want to be in his way.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
They always said he was by far the...
It's dangerous. By the way, I literally last night, I just got done watching his new show, Fubar 2. And I gotta say, I'm just such an Arnold fan, dude. I found so much entertainment. Check out the show. This is not sponsored, obviously. Check out the show Fubar. There's 2 seasons of it so far. If you miss Arnie, it's great. I think he knows at this point, like, the things to say that make us laugh, because he'll just, like, straight up, he'll just, in one episode he says, like, Total Recall, he's like, he even does a play on, like, I'll be back in about 2 hours. I have to go to the store real quick and then I'll be back after this. Yeah. Like, just stuff like that I'm just like, dude, this is great. Like, Arnie has become totally self-aware. All right, here we go.
Strongest person.
By the way, if you guys didn't know, that is Wilt Chamberlain in Conan. So this is where they spent time together and worked out together and all this.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember that he lifted me up like with one arm like nothing.
It's not possible for any human being to do the kinds of things that he was able to do.
Yep. He was a track star too.
People don't believe it. But he wasn't at the top of the circle, but he was about 3 steps behind it on a free throw, and he ran to the free throw line, took off and dunked the ball. And I actually saw this.
I gotta know. on your list, who's above who? Wilt or Shaq? I've got Wilt above Shaq, but they're both on like the low end of my top 10, and they're both incredibly difficult for me to place. I find them very, very challenging to figure out where they belong on my list. But I'm curious about yours. Are they on your top 10? And if they are, what position are they? Tell me now. Do it. What are you waiting for?
How would you defend against yourself?
I wouldn't. I would just go home. I would fake an injury or something.
Well, you're not a very nice guy.
I tell you what, I was a very nice guy.
You were?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was too nice. I have some close friends of mine who told me a number of times, Wilt, go up there and break Bill Russell's hand. You know, stop being so nice to these guys. You can destroy them. And because I was maybe a nice guy, I shot the fadeaway and didn't do some of the things that like Shaquille O'Neal's now doing.
It's true, though. Shaq did play bully ball.
But Dudley is now joined with Shaq and threw the ball in his direction.
But to be fair, he had every right to. That's his body, man. He is that big. He is that strong. So if he's playing within league rules, he should be able to do it. Honestly, Wilt should have done it too. But it looks like by not doing so, he got a nice repertoire of good moves there. He's got the hook. He's got the fadeaway. He can shoot jumpers and layups, all things that Shaq can't do. Shaq, he just had dunk and baby hook. You know, like the Shaq, you know, I'm like 3 feet away from the basket, baby hook. Yet he was still productive. But imagine if he had all those other moves like Wilt did.
Oh, so he was upset. He thought Shaq pushed him after the play and knocked him down.
I'm saying,
he shoves him with 2 hands.
Call fouls though today, you know. Shaq gets away with what I would consider murder.
So they let him go.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that when you dip your shoulder and you run over top of a guy and the foul's called on the guy laying on the floor, you know, you're getting away with something.
I can't tell you how many times I watched him go up for a dunk, and someone would put their hand within the cylinder trying to block a shot, and Wilt would let up because he knew he could break the man's arm. He was too nice a man.
If you look at his...
I think it took until like Dominique Wilkins off the top of my head to come in that changed that. If you stick your hand on the rim and Dominique is throwing the ball down, you're going to break your hand. Like your hand is going to get ripped off. So people had to learn fast. Don't do it. And then you got guys like Sean Kemp who came in, you know, eventually like a Vince Carter, stuff like that. Like that rule changed. Wilt could have changed that rule back in his day if he would have set that precedence, but he probably would have had to break someone's hand.
And the records that he set, I always thought it was like watching him in slow motion. I thought he could have even done more.
You were by far the biggest and strongest man in the league, and that you did not have a killer instinct. I don't mean that competitively, but I mean you could have hurt guys. You could have slammed guys to the floor. You could have looked to pick fights. You didn't do that.
That was one of the saving things about playing against the guy who did physically imposing, is that I cannot recall even hearing about an incident where he tried to hurt anybody.
Oh wow! Look at him. He's trying to prevent the fight here.
And so you know,
that's good and bad.
Hold on, I want to hear what Russell said. Sorry, I was distracted by the footage.
About playing against the guy.
Hold up.
To pick fights. You didn't do that.
That was one of the saving things about playing against the guy who did physically imposing, is that I cannot recall even hearing about an incident where he tried to hurt anybody. And so you know,
that's good and bad.
You can rack him up, and you know that he's not going to really hurt you.
Did you need more killer instinct?
Well, you know, it could be said. It could be said. But also remember, when you're my size, I want to also show them I was skillful. I wasn't out there to...
Wait.
But also remember, when you're my size.
I think I heard from one of you guys in the comments that he was, at least for a short stint, a Harlem Globetrotter. Is this right? Is this that footage right here?
I want to also show them I was
looks like it.
I wasn't out there to really try to show that I could just knock people over and whatever.
And you didn't want to just play into the image of brute strength.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I want to play basketball as the way Jay Smith really invented the game to be played.
Actually, it was better than he envisioned.
Probably right.
I saw him one time in LA.
I'm so glad those two became friends again before they got too old.
This is no lie. We had a restaurant. I'm here. Wilt's right there. No hi, no you suck, no anything.
Didn't acknowledge you at all?
No, it's a pecking order thing. It's a respect thing. I took it to myself and said, okay, he don't know who I am yet. The greats don't recognize me yet. I must not be great. And if you don't...
No, Shaq, what you didn't realize is it is a pecking order. Your job as the young buck was to go introduce yourself to Wilt. You know, be like, hey, Wilt, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. My name's Shaquille O'Neal. He knows who you are, Shaq. He knows who you are, but he's not going to get up and come to you. You know, you should be seeking his wisdom. He's not seeking your wisdom. So it's just the order of operations. You know, nowadays, same thing. It's reversed, though. If Shaq's at a table and you got Wemby over at another table, it's up to Wemby to get up and say, hey, what's up, Shaq? Nice to meet you.
I don't think I'm great. I got work to do.
Superstar who dominated basketball in the 1960s and 70s was found dead today at his home in Los Angeles. Chamberlain was 63.
What was his cause of death?
4 games into the season, Shaq's coming off the floor, and I stop him before he gets to the bench. And I said, what's the greatest thing Wilt Chamberlain ever did?
Oh, I love this.
Wilt averaged 50 in one season. He did. He averaged 50 in one season.
No, that's not it. What'd he do? He played every single minute of every game during the course of the season.
Yeah.
I said, could you do that? He said, oh, if he could do that, I could do that. So I started playing him 48 minutes a night. 7 or 8 games into this, John Sally says, you know, Shaq came to me and he said, maybe you could rest him a little bit tonight. So I started to monitor his minutes a little bit, but that was the year Shaq was an MVP and he had 30 points a game. He really led us.
What's funny is I remember being so confused when I was looking at a stat sheet from Wilt Chamberlain, and it said minutes per game for the season, and it was 49 point something, and I was like, what am I looking at? It took me so long until I'm like, he literally played every minute of every game plus overtimes, and there's just enough overtimes that he played to make this not a 48 minute but a 49 point something. Like, it blew my mind. Like, what kind of durability? That's insane to play like that. You know, and I'm an 80s, 90s boy. Like, well, I used to play the whole game, but I wasn't playing 12-minute quarters. I was playing 8-minute quarters. No, man, I don't know. I don't know. To do that for a full season, I don't understand how he was able to do that. All 48, every single game. The guy was a freak athlete. And it's not like he was getting injured.
2000. Look at this. He led the league in scoring with 30. He led the league in rebounding with 14.
Oh, my God. Look at this rebound, you guys.
Year 2000. Look at this.
Hold on.
He led the league in scoring.
All right, he's going to go up. Take a look here and look at Shaq. Oh, pay attention to Shaq's left arm and pay attention to this guy. I never noticed this before. And that's Rick Smits, by the way. Giant man that he's boxing out.
With 30.
Boom.
He led the league in rebounding.
Look at that. He's just out of the frame. Get out of here.
14. He also chipped in with 4 assists a game, which was his career high. He also led the league by making 57% of his shots unguardable. That's just like too good. And that was the only MVP one. But you want to talk about agile at 330? I think Shaq would have terrorized Wilt. I do.
When it comes to basketball conversations, I'm very arrogant. I only want to hear my name. So when they say who's the most dominant player ever, I want them to say my name. I don't want them to be like, maybe Wilt, maybe Shaq. So,
does that really bother you?
Yeah, it does. You better than Wilt? Yeah, I'm better than Wilt. I'll bust Wilt ass.
I would say you're more dominant just because you're the physical force of nature that Shaq was. But who is a better player? Probably Wilt.
We got next.
85-81. Malone trying to get it to O'Neal, who gets it back.
Wilt Chamberlain, surprise.
I accept your challenge.
But you can't tell me how long, though, can you? A man can only wait so long.
Customato felt as if I had the properties to do.
Did he challenge Muhammad Ali to a fight?
Well, in the boxing game.
He was throwing punches with force. I felt that he has that stinging jab.
This is so unfair.
He's such an athlete. Incredible.
You could have been the best decathlete in the world.
I think I had the ingredients. I think I had
the properties.
Words like most dominant, you gotta earn that.
Wilt owns over 90 records, and he hasn't played in the last 40 years.
Wait, can I hear that again?
Years. Wilt owns over 90 records, and he hasn't played in the last 40 years.
Damn, dude. Dude, great video. I'm just looking at these videos on here. Wilt Chamberlain versus Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, I'll check you out at a later time. Dang, great videos today. I've had a great time here. Day started out a little sluggish, but man, 3 great videos to react to, and all 3 different subjects. I'm a happy camper. I'm a happy mind crime today. Let me know what you guys thought about this one. I mean, I know that I'm really hard on Shaq because, like, I think I stand by it. If he would have had the work ethic of, well, like recently we heard like Kobe or Jordan or even Wilt Chamberlain, because Wilt was working on all aspects of the game, focusing a lot on defense, but also like his offensive moves. He had a fadeaway jumper, you know, all these things that we listed. He had all these moves that he can go to at any point to just make him unstoppable on the offensive end. And if Shaq would have stayed in shape and he would have kept, like, every year he would have worked on one of his weaknesses and come back with a new skill, I feel like he could have been known as the greatest of all time. And you guys think I'm crazy because, like, oh, a center can never be greatest of all time. Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were considered the greatest of all time until Michael Jordan came around. So, yeah, 100% a center can be the GOAT. It's very possible. In fact, my eyes are on Wemby. I'm curious what he can do in the future, but we'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, with Shaq, I thought he had endless potential because I saw his skill set kind of diminish as time went on. Because when he was young, like fresh out of LSU and playing for the Orlando Magic, the guy could dribble. You know, he could run a fast. I mean, he didn't do it often, but he could actually like dribble up for a fast break. I think his passing skills were better. He was leaner, but still by far the strongest player in the league, which I thought was the perfect place where he's stronger than everybody, but he's still limber. And for whatever reason, as he got older, he got bigger, thicker, slower. He ran less. He couldn't run a fast break at all anymore, obviously. He couldn't dribble the ball anymore, except for in the post. He lost his handles, and he never formed any type of offensive weapons outside of dunking and a baby hook. Those were like his only 2 go-to moves. And then also on defense, you know how it is when you gain a lot of weight and you get a little lazy, defense is going to be sluggish. But like that MVP Shaq, if that MVP Shaq, he could have actually stayed hungry and improved from there, or even just like stayed at that level of dominance for a while, shoot, we could be having a whole different conversation about Shaquille O'Neal. But Wilt Chamberlain, could Wilt Chamberlain have dominated Shaq? I think Shaq would have it's complicated. They would both have a hard time guarding each other. Who would win? Wilt has more moves. My money would be on Wilt. Honestly, it would be on Wilt. I'm curious what you guys have to say, though. So it's your turn. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who would dominate who and why? I literally think it's just because Wilt Chamberlain has a deeper bag. He has a deeper bag of tricks that he can pull from. And, you know, depending on how Shaq is guarding him, he could, you know, he could punish him from the inside. He could punish him with fadeaways, which are going to be unreachable. You know what I mean? A guy Wilt's height shooting a fadeaway, Shaq can't get there. No one can get there. So, yeah, I got to give it up to Wilt in that case. And maybe I got to implement that a little bit into my all-time list. Anyways, guys, you've heard me ramble enough today. Let me know what your opinions are. I'll read them down below, and I'll see you in the comments, all right? Everybody, please leave this video a like. Check out Fuba's Sports if you enjoyed this. The link is in the description of this video you're watching. And, yeah, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And most importantly, is be water, my friends.